Alright, as a lot of you know if you've been following the channel for a while, I'm a huge fan of the Speedroid cards. It's one of my favorite decks, probably in my top 3, if not top 2. It's definitely up there with Heroes for me. So I was really excited when they announced more support in Synchro Strike, and I was hoping that it was all going to end up being pretty good, if not, above average, and the kind of thing that might make the deck competitive. Now, I'm not sure if we're there in terms of competitive, but the new support is actually really solid, and I'm definitely excited about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what type of things I can make work with the deck, and I think we get this set in July, so it shouldn't be too long of a wait in terms of when we're actually able to have access to these cards. So with that being said, I just want to go over them in case anyone hasn't had a chance to see them yet and just give my initial thoughts. These are pretty cool, and I'm hopeful that they will help the deck sort of go to that next level. So we have Speedroid Partyhorn Kid. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of your other wind monsters, so it doesn't count itself. Add one excavated card to your hand. Also, place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. So that's really, really solid. This doesn't specifically require Speedroids at all, and it's a level 4 wind tuner, so I'm sure there's other decks that can utilize it, and that's a duality effect that doesn't restrict your special summoning and just allows you to kind of dig further into the deck. Particularly in a deck like Speedroids that has the ability to special summon something like Terratop and then get this and normal summon, you can actually make this effect live pretty easily. I definitely think this is a card that people will be looking towards, and I'm really excited about it, not just for Speedroids, but for other wind decks in general. That being said, it's definitely a 3-of, something you would want to play in Speedroids, because it does seem like it's going to be a huge consistency booster for the deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one level 3 or higher wind monster you control, reduce its level by 2. So this does have some really interesting applications with things like Crystal Wing, Crystal Clearwing, to be able to modify some of your levels so that you can make your synchros more easily. And when we get to it in a moment, there is a level 3 synchro tuner that they got in this as well that will be easier to make with this card than it was before. So definitely a plus for me on that one. Next one is Speedroid Magichound. Art-wise, it's unique. When this card is normal summoned, you can send one Speedroid card from your deck to the graveyard. That's not bad. There are a lot of cards that have graveyard banishing effects, so it is a neat application to have. If this card is in your grave except the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card, then target one Speedroid monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, special summon one Speedroid Synchro monster with the same level but a different name. So in other words, the most effective thing you can do this with is going to be with like Terratop. You can return Terratop or Takedomborg to the deck, and then you can pull out their level 3 Synchro tuner directly from the extra deck. Having its effects negated doesn't really matter because you're really just using it to ladder up, but it makes it infinitely easier to get into some of your bigger boss monsters, so this is going to be a really, really solid addition to the deck. I don't know that I would play it at 3, but I'll have to play test things once I actually have the capability to do so, and we'll see exactly how it functions. Definitely like this a lot, though, in terms of what it can do, and it's really solid, particularly if, if you have a way to get into the grave on your first turn and then survive till the next turn, which, in current Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't always a guarantee, it's going to allow you to come back and make some powerful plays. Hi, Speedroid Corkblast here. This is really cool art, too. I hope they don't censor it or anything because it's like a gun, but I don't think they will. I think we're kind of past that point in terms of what the TCG is doing. This is a level 3 Synchro Tuner. One tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters. So realistically speaking, you're probably going to make this most of the time with like Red-Eyed Dice or one of your level 1 tuners and then a level 2 monster. It becomes a lot easier to do when you can modify the levels. So you could, realistically have a level 2 tuner, make Terratop a level 1, vice versa. There's all sorts of different number combinations you can do to make this work. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can activate one of these effects, but you are locked into wind monsters for the rest of the turn. So that quote-unquote rest of the turn part is important because it doesn't stop you from doing stuff earlier. You can either add a Speedroid Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. Now, I don't know of too many. I know Speed Recovery is really good, but it's not a direct Speedroid card. And then there's Shock Surprise and a few others, so I'd have to look at the rest of the Speedroid, quote-unquote, spell or traps, but we'll see where that goes a bit later. If this card was Synchro Summon using only Speedroid monsters as material, and all of the materials used for its summon are in your grave, special summon them. So basically, this can put all the monsters back that it had out to make it summon, giving you 3 monsters on the field for the cost of 1, which does make your laddering a lot easier. That wind-only restriction becomes a lot less significant when you think about the fact that there's a decent amount of wind extra deck cards. Some of the Speedroids, their Link monster, which is Rubber Band Shooter, is really solid, and High Speedroid Kite Drake, which was in Battles of Legend, Hero's Revenge, is another really powerful high-level synchro, so you have a lot to play with in terms of putting negations on the board despite that restriction. High Speedroid Clearwing Rider has some really, really cool artwork. This is a level 11 monster, 1 wind tuner and 1 non-tuner, 1 or more non-tuner wind synchro monsters, so it does not have to be a tuner synchro, which is nice. Once per turn, you can roll a 6-sided die, shuffle wind monsters from your graveyard into the deck up to the result. So if you roll a 3, you can shuffle up to 3. Then you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number shuffled, and if you do, this card gets 500 attack for each destroyed until the end of the turn. That's a really solid effect that does not target, so it is destruction that is non-targeting. Obviously, the dice roll part of it makes it kind of RNG, but at the very least, you're able to clear a card off the field. You know, the lowest you can roll is a 1, and it does get you back some of your cards. Being able to recycle things like Terratop is going to be solid. During your opponent's main phase quick effect, you contribute this Synchro Summon card, special summon up to 2 level 7 wind Synchro monsters with different names from your extra deck, so that's pretty good too. I'm not sure exactly what it can pull out. The Dragonity Knight Trident, I know it can pull out, and then obviously your Clearwing Fast Dragon and Clearwing Synchro Dragon, but I think there's more level 7 wind monsters. I'll have to take a more in-depth look at them as we get a chance to actually play around with the deck, but this is a really cool boss monster for the deck that I think will complement Crystal Clearwing nicely. And lastly, Speedroid Duplicate. Banish 1 wind monster from your graveyard, then target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. I like this card a lot because it does synergize well with, Speedroids in general, but with things like Domino Butterfly that allows you to recycle your banished assets, it's going to be, one of those cards that's not exactly going to be a super detriment to you. During your main phase, if this card is in the graveyard, you can target 1 Speedroid monster you control, reduce its level by 1, and if you do, special summon this card as a normal monster. It is not treated as a trap. This is a once per duel effect, but it does all but guarantee your ability to get out that level 3 Synchro, and it does give you some seriously effective level modifying to be able to get into different combos that you want. So I do think this is a card you would see play. I don't know how many copies you would play given that it is a once per duel effect, but you do have ways to mill Speedroid cards with this. As a matter of fact, I believe Magichound can mill this because it is just a Speedroid card. So you can put that engraved with Magichound, make Magichound a level 2, and then special summon it, and you have an instant variant of, well, it's a tuner, so you can't go ahead and do it to make, that level 3 specifically, but you can certainly use it to make all kinds of different combos. So I'm really excited about these cards as a whole. I'm looking forward to this set a lot, and I want to build Speedroids. Once it's either on Dueling Network or Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, I may try it out just to give you guys a sense of where I'm at with the deck and how I'm feeling, but I'm super pumped to be able to actually have these cards IRL, and hopefully it'll coincide with the time that we're able to go back to locals and play. So I'm really pumped about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think these cards are going to make an impact, or do you think Speedroids may still struggle? I look forward to any and all responses. Please like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you next time here at Loveshack.